to the Stevie Mac podcast. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Stevie Mac podcast show. Um, no, I've been gone for a little bit, been gone for a couple weeks, you know what I mean? Been quite eventful the past 3 weeks. But before we get into that, go ahead, hit the like button, hit the follow button, hit the notification button, whenever I post, you know what I mean? Go ahead and start listening to whatever I drop, you know what I mean? Because I know you miss me, you know what I mean? But yeah, I'll be to the side. Welcome back to the Stevie Mac podcast show. Like I said, I've been gone for a couple weeks. I had recently left my second job. And when I left that job, my kids happened to go on spring break, you know what I mean? But me leaving my job, I'll get into that in just a minute. But yeah, so my kids were on spring break that week, and we were fishing for 7 days straight. Went fishing 7 days straight, did not catch a lick of nothing. I know Essence, she ended up hooking on to something, but whatever it was, spit it out, I guess. And when she was rolling it in, it seemed pretty heavy, and when she got it to shore, it was a big old boulder, you know what I mean? So I thought that was pretty funny. Like the hook hit perfect into a little hole with that rock. So yeah, we were fishing 7 days a week a couple weeks ago, and then the following week, I had my me time, you know what I mean? Time to relax, to reflect on uh, basically my health and all that, and my kids started sports. Whatever, my two little ones started soccer. So we were trying to get situated with that stuff right there as well. Stephanie and Essence, they're both playing soccer, U8, U13, and so we were dealing with that. But one thing I did do, I ended up, and if you know me, you know I don't like doctors because I don't want to know what they say. I don't know what's wrong with me. Whatever it is, it is. But uh, my wife seemed worried. Because stuff's going around in the world. People having stuff happen to them. So my wife made me a doctor's appointment. I ended up going. So did some blood work, nothing major, to make sure all my insides are functioning correctly. Well, yeah, so I ended up going, got it. The results came back 2 days later. Come to find out, I'm borderline diabetic. And so then being a borderline diabetic is nothing to play with. You know what I mean? I know I am overweight. I'm at 267. My goal is to be at least 200 pounds. So I'm gonna have to start taking care of myself. I started a diet and all that stuff, and eating tuna fish and crackers, and not eating my tacos. Fat boy love tacos. You know what I mean? So, it's no bueno because I like to eat. But it is what it is. You know what I mean? I have to not think of myself. I have to think of my little ones. So that's what's been going on these past couple of weeks. Other than that, like I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, I found out as well there's another Stevie Mac podcast out there. Uh, but um, but yeah, we're just going to go with it until they hit me with some litigations or whatever, and we'll go from there. Hopefully they don't. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, so to me being borderline diabetic, I'm having to change my ways, for the better. I'm having to start the meal prep, and nobody likes to meal prep unless you're one of them workout guys or workout ladies, and you like staying fit. Well, for me, like I said, I like my tacos or whatever. Me having a meal prep is it's kind of, I guess I already got content of, just coming home, making something to eat. I'm good to go. Make a sandwich, peanut butter and jelly, eat some tacos, eating some, junk food. But now I have to prep. So, and eating tuna fish all the time now is, I guess you can get used to or whatever, but, I have to, I have to do it regardless. So, I'm not just doing it for myself, I'm doing it for my little ones as well. And I'm having to have to start working out, because my doctor got me on this stuff called Zepbound, and it's really expensive medicine. And basically she said if I don't contribute to the medicine, basically working out, meal prepping, eating correctly, this expensive medicine is not going to work. So yeah, I started going back to the gym. I'm a little sore today. I worked out yesterday, first time back in the gym in a minute, and because working two jobs is it put a toll on me. But yeah, so I'm back in the gym now. I'm starting to eat better now, and I'm just you know I'm gonna have to change my ways. So when you see me with the six pack, you know what I mean. Be like, yeah, you know what I mean. The doctor made me do it, so got to get my sexy back. But yeah, bullshit to the side though, man. I wrote a couple things down, and it's just a little things, So, like I said, um, it's tough, you know what I mean, and trying to eat right, when you have your habits or whatever, being out of a workout routine for a minute. But, I'm off 4 days a week, So instead of being a couch potato, watching TV, eating chips and all that, you put my 4 days to use and go to the gym. So like I said, I weigh 267. Now I'm trying to get to 200, not 260. I'm trying to get to 200 pounds. You know what I mean? And then once I get there, I should be coasting. I should be my body, and I should be content with working out every day and all that stuff. And I'm not only doing it for myself, I'm doing it for my wife, doing it for my kids. Because they're the ones that are behind me. They're the ones that depend on me. You know what I mean? And I want to wake up to them. Because everything that's going on in the world these days. You know what I mean? It's just crazy. And to see your friends or loved ones having to go through some trauma or having to bury a loved one, it's like, man, something got to give, you know what I mean? And and it's an eye opener. It's a reality check. So I told myself, you know what, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it for myself, for one, and for my family, because my little ones, I want to see them grow up. I want to see them grow up. I want to see them be successful in life. I want to have them precious moments, precious memories, and all that good stuff, man. But so if you don't take anything away from me today, just take this. Your health is more important than anything else, especially if you have little ones or loved ones. You know what I mean? That look up to you. You know, so that's my life story. You know what I mean? So yeah, me leaving going back to what I said, I left my second job. Um, yeah, my second job, man. That's when I started noticing I wasn't healthy. I started having blisters on my feet, and my feet always hurting, my body's always hurting, and all that. That's what made me go to the doctor. I'm a little bit backwards, rewind, so I should have said that at the beginning of the show, whatever. But it is what it is. But I'm not telling you what to do, but from seeing everything that's going on in this world, and like I said, it's a real eye opener. You know what I mean? It won't be easy, but you got to start somewhere. You got to crawl before you walk, baby. You know what I mean? So pretty soon, I'm gonna have them. I'm gonna have them big guns. But but yeah, my self care. I guess you can say I have to be 100% invested now. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. So that's part of the segment. You know what I mean? And you're not like you might not know it, man, but you mean something to somebody somewhere, and so you owe it to yourself and to that person, to stick around for a while. You know what I mean? Get yourself healthy. Get yourself back into that groove. Your high school days. We working out, looking buff, being in shape because you know I wish death on nobody. You know what I mean? I wish nothing but happiness and wealth, everything for everybody. Like like I said, seeing a loved one or a friend go through a tragic moment. Is it's real hard. You know what I mean? And words can't explain it. And I wish that on nobody. Um, it's kind of hard, to take it, because like I don't know too many people in my family that are diabetics, probably one or two. And me being borderline, it's kind of scary, you know what I mean? And I guess haven't hit me yet, reality or whatever. But there's a lot of side effects being a diabetic, and that right there, I'm not a diabetic yet, and I hope I don't become one, and no offense to you if you're a diabetic either, you know what I mean. But when the doctor told me I'm borderline, it's opened my eyes, and it was a reality check. And so my fat ass got to get in the gym, got to start eating right again. You know what I mean? I have to do what's best for not only myself but for my family as well. Uh, and me working those two jobs was it put a toll on my body because I was working two jobs for almost 13 years, and me not taking care of myself, just coming home, drinking some beer, eating nachos or whatever, bullshit and whatever, and I guess that wasn't no good for me. You know what I mean? I figured I just had a dad bod. You know what I mean? I thought it came with the territory. When you have five kids, you know what I mean? It's you got the championship body, you got the dad bod. But boy, was I wrong! I tell you, having a dad bod's okay. You know what I mean? And I got used to it. I'm content with it. But yeah, it's no bueno, man. I have to get healthy, not only for myself, but for my family. So, and if you want to take on a challenge, we could do a challenge. We can bet some money. Whoever loses the most weight wins a certain amount of time. Um, wins the money, wins the pot. So if you listen all the way to this podcast, it's all the way to the end. Let's put some money on it. See who can lose most weight in 6 months. You know what I mean? It's what, April now. It's the beginning of April. So what, May, June, April, May, June, July, August, September. See who has the dad bod or who has the muscle bod in August, September. You know what I mean? Football season's around the corner. You know what I mean? So before football season, put some money in the pot. Put $50 in the pot, each person. If I can get 10 people, that's $500 right there. You know what I mean? $500. Wait, no, that's more. Huh? No, that's $500. Hey, if I did my math might not be mathing, but but yeah, 10 people, $50. If you want to take on that challenge, hey, hit me up at StevieMaxPodcast@gmail.com. Let me know you want to be in it. We'll do a little wager. You know what I mean? We can make up an account. You know what I mean? And have the money in there. And then we'll go live and do a live weigh in. You weigh this much, you weigh this much, you weigh this much. And you got to put your goal in there or what you want to get to in the 6 months. And the person, and it can't be just 5 pounds. It has to be like me. I got 60, 70 pounds I got to lose. So it has to at least, 50, 60 pounds. You know what I mean? If you're in there just trying to lose 10 pounds, buddy, you only get a portion. You'll get a quarter of the pot, and the rest goes to the rest of us fat asses trying to lose all the weight. No, but bullshit to the side, yeah. So if you're wanting to lose 50 plus pounds, and you want to get up on this pot, we ain't gonna do 50. We do $20. $20. $20 in the pot. Put your money in the pot. You know what I mean? And the winner gets the money. You know what I mean? And there'll be a second prize. Maybe some Slim Fast or or a gift card or something. I can think of something. You know what I mean? But yeah, if you want to join in, let me know. Um, this is just the beginning of it. I'm just gonna start being healthy. Right now, I got a little gut on me. You can see it poking out a little bit, see a little cheeches or whatever. But I guarantee you, and then I promise you this: once August comes, I'm going to be one lean, mean bite machine. You know what I mean? But no, man. All bullshit to the side, though, man. I do appreciate you checking in, coming in, watching on me. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to touch up on this one. I know I was a little all over the place at the beginning of this show, whatever. But yeah, first day back, got a little jittery, got a little nervous again, But I tell you what, I do appreciate you tuning in, listening to the whole thing. And like I said, leave a comment. You know what I mean? Hit the like button. Leave a comment. You know what I mean? If not, like I said, send me an email at Stevie Mac podcast at gmail.com. And let me know you want to join it. You know what I mean? And if you got my number, call me. You know what I mean? I'm actually got some news as well. I got a website fixing to come up pretty soon. We're working out all the specs and all that stuff, getting on there. So if you don't like listening to Facebook, Spotify, or YouTube, or whatever, I'll have a website you can actually go to, the QR codes and all that good stuff. You can go to the actual website, click on the link. It'll show all my videos on there as well. I got two more videos I got to record, but I'm not going to do it today because the Rangers start at 6:05 today against the Tampa Bay Rays. So that's why I want to kind of get in here and do it a little early. But uh, but yeah, man, it's been 16 minutes. You know what I mean? I'm fishing to disappear because I'm in here by myself because my son, he's sick. Everybody else is inside eating fajitas, and I gotta go give me some tuna fish and tuna fish, sweet tea. I know sweet tea ain't good for me. Maybe some water, but yeah, if you're down for the challenge, hit me up. Let me know. You take it easy. All right.